1-800-STEP-1-2, the phone number, toll free from anywhere. You know what? He writes like a book a minute, like Tom Hartman, for God's sakes. Jessie Ventura has a new book out, Democrips and Republicans. I said it right. Okay. Governor Jessie Ventura joins us now. Good morning, Gov.
Hi, Stephanie. How are you? And I don't write a book a minute. I do one every year when I spend 4 months in Mexico.
There you go. Pardon me. I did not check my paper calendar.
Stephanie, I don't watch TV down there, and I generally read about 15 to 17 books all winter. So, that's the time when I write the books with Dick Russell, because Dick comes down there also at the same time.
Awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Awesome. So I was reading a piece that somebody said, as you've been promoting your new book, you are having a difficult time getting booked. You said this is the first book where I'm being canceled. As you know, I'm not as scared of you. I find you cuddly.
Well, thank you. But, Don Imus was all scheduled. I was scheduled to do it. His management and all them were hot to have me. And then Don Imus said, I'm not putting him on the air, and that was the end of it. I think it was because they asked me for 5 songs that they could use to bring me in and out with.
Yeah.
And I picked 4 of the songs were from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah, that's not Imus music.
And I don't think, they were banned from being played during the Trump up to the Iraq War and during the Iraq War. Tom Morello, their lead guitar player, is my new musical hero. If you've ever heard him sing what the heck is it? The Ghost of Tom Joad.
Yes.
Every time I hear that song with him and Springsteen, I want to run for president.
Do it. Also, shockingly being blocked by Fox News. You said I'm already falling victim to the corporate media. Gov, that's the interesting thing. That's why, we're here at Current. That's why Current was created, because, to offer an alternative to the corporate media. I don't agree with half of what you say, but see, I'll just gloss over those parts and talk about the parts I agree with you on. But I'm not scared to have you on.
What do you disagree with me?
Well, I'm not going to focus at all on Democrips. I'm just going to go right to Republicans.
Okay.
So, just kidding. Now, no, but you have a lot of stuff in here that, I think should be relevant to everybody. One quote I saw in here that you put from Teddy Roosevelt: "It shall be unlawful for any national bank or any corporation organized by the authority of any laws of Congress to make a money contribution in connection with any election to any political office." Teddy Roosevelt from the Tillman Act in 1907. What happened to that?
It got lost in the shuffle somewhere. And it's even better than that, how the Constitution states we shall have no central bank. Well, what's the Federal Reserve? So they defy the Constitution in creating a central bank, and nothing's done about it. That actually ties into my court case where I sued the TSA and Homeland Security. What it is they created this thing called administrative law. That's where if the president signs an executive order and Congress approves it to implement it, it's then above the Constitution.
Do you fly now?
No.
Oh, you don't? So
I stopped flying because I have metal in my body, and I tried to go to court over it. The federal judge ruled I sued under my 4th Amendment, reasonable search and seizure. The federal judge threw it out of court and said she didn't have jurisdiction.
Wow. How do you get around on a book tour?
I'm doing everything from Minnesota, and I'm only doing book signings in Minnesota.
Wow.
And I refuse. I haven't flown in almost 2 years. I refuse to fly because I, as a veteran, a former mayor, and a former governor, am sick of being treated like a criminal at an airport.
Sure.
Yep.
And people need to understand, in light of my case, when you go to any airport in America, you are not protected by the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. They can do anything they want to you out there, and you have nowhere to go to seek redress because everyone that tries to sue, the judges throw it out.
And wasn't it convenient that Michael Chertoff had a technology ready for a problem which did not yet exist?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Chertoff's the one making all the money off of these X-ray machines. That's his company.
Yeah, and I have to fly a lot. Let me just tell you, you're not missing anything. It still sucks.
It's horrid. I took the train last year. It was wonderful.
Yeah,
I actually arrived calm and relaxed. Where you go to an airport today, there's so much tension out there, and it's horrible.
By the way,
I don't miss it.
You know, Gov, I actually love the train too, and that's what I hate about this becomes this big government. Like it's come to encompass everything that Republicans used to be for, like infrastructure, like highways, like the high-speed rail. Like, you know, I mean, it literally at this point, I can't believe we're, you know, in America and we don't have high-speed rail.
Yeah, we're so behind, and it's ridiculous. Well, you know why? That's the influence of the fossil fuel people in cars.
Yes, absolutely.
They want us all in cars, and they don't want to provide any mass transit.
That's what killed the Red Line in L.A.
Yeah, well, what's interesting, when I put in the first light rail line as governor of Minnesota, my biggest adversary were the Republicans, and I went to the Republican leader and I said, look, this rail line is going to go right through the worst part of Minneapolis where we have most of our welfare people. It will give them the ability to go out and get jobs and have transportation. You know what he said to me? And this is what it's all about with this book. He said to me, I don't have anyone elected down there. I don't give a damn.
Yeah,
and
here we
that's
are.
what it's all about.
Well,
it isn't about doing the right thing for the country. It's about doing the right thing for their political gang.
You know, you mentioned the big oil. I mean, you talk about the Tea Party and it being funded by Koch Industries, which is big oil. They gave $55 million in bribes to scientists to say global warming is a hoax. They were largely behind, you know, pushing for Citizens United, and so here we are.
Yep, exactly. And you know, the only way, like I said, I have a solution for the candidates for president. You know what that is?
What?
I think that all presidential candidates should be required to wear NASCAR racing suits like Jimmy Johnson.
You know what? That is a fantastic idea.
That way they got all the patches of who has bribed them and who owns them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm very upfront about it here on the show. You know, it's interesting. You mentioned the Occupy movement, and obviously, at least that we're having a conversation about income inequality. But one of the things you talk about in the book, the CEO of Walmart earns $19,000 an hour. At the same time, his million or so employees have to work on holidays for between $8 and $10 an hour. Yeah. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it?
Well, here's what says it all. This current recession or depression we're in, 99% of us have lost wealth, me included, with our homes and everything like that.
Right.
Yet the upper 1%, the billionaires, we have it documented in the book, they've increased their wealth during this recession 5 times. So if you're worth $10 billion, you're now worth $50 billion.
Yep. Gov, we've been talking all morning about healthcare and, you know, the big healthcare companies, the insurance companies saying, oh, you know, we'll do the right thing and keep all these provisions even if the Supreme Court strikes it down. And I thought, gee, that makes me suspicious. I'm not a conspiratorial person, but you write in your book, leaders of Cigna, Humana, United Health, WellPoint, Aetna received nearly $200 million in compensation in 2009, while the company sought rate increases as high as 39%. Am I the only one that doesn't trust that they're going to do the right thing if there's no regulation to ensure that if the Supreme Court does strike this down?
Corporations are not going to do the right thing. Corporations have no soul. All they have is a bottom line. And people need to understand that. When the Supreme Court ruled that corporations have the same equal rights as individuals, and when they ruled that money is free speech, that was the lowest day in our country's history, in my opinion. I would like to see this. The next time a guy robs the bank, he should use free speech as his defense. Say, I was just practicing free speech. The Supreme Court said that money's free speech.
Yep, absolutely. And here you have one of the major candidates saying, no, corporations are people. I mean,
yeah, right.
Well, if corporations
you know what? If they elect Mitt Romney, you know who they're getting, don't you? Gordon Gekko.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, because what Bain or whoever it was he worked for in the private sector, that's exactly what their job was. They were hostile corporate takeover. They take over companies. They would shred them and make huge profits and send everybody to the unemployment line. And yet he's going to tell us he knows how to create jobs. He only knows how the jobs he creates is inline jobs.
And by the way, Gov, not Gordon Gekko in his prime, but Michael Douglas in the crappy sequel. You know what I'm talking about. The old Gordon Gekko.
Yeah, the old Gordon Gekko, the one with Charlie Sheen. That's the Gordon Gekko I'm talking about.
But if corporations are people, they should be required to die at some point.
Yeah, that's a good idea, too.
Right, when Texas executes one, I'll
Yeah,
believe that it's...
when the government uses one of their unmanned drones to kill a corporation,
there you go.
Then they'll have equality.
Gov, you have been obviously very as a former Navy SEAL, outspoken against the wars. Did you happen to see this week, which I thought was, unbelievably tragic on top of tragedy, but that the rate of suicides, that our troops committing suicide, has now overtaken combat deaths?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This country gives this false patriotism, this phony crap where they go to football games and honor and thank you for protecting our freedom. Our freedoms have never been in jeopardy in these last wars one bit. What you have, people need to read the works of General Smedley Butler.
Yes.
Smedley Butler was the highest decorated Marine in history. He won 2 Congressional Medals of Honor. And when you read his memoirs, he tells you back in the before he died in the 40s, he said, I didn't defend the people of America. He said, I defended the United Fruit Corporation.
Mm-hmm.
When they would go down into Central and South America, if they didn't get cooperation, they sent in the U.S. Marines to get it. So it's been going on for an entire century. Military people are not fighting for our freedom. They're fighting for the corporations throughout the world.
Governor Ventura, I want to say clearly I am more man than Don Imus will ever be, and you remain smart and cuddly, and I love your new book, Democrats and Republicans.
Republicans.
Yes,
Republicans.
exactly.
Well,
no more gangs in government.
Stephanie, let me finish with this. For all the Ron Paul people, and I'm one of them, Paul obviously isn't going to be a choice. He won't be on the ballot, but we still have hope. Remember, Ron Paul was a Libertarian in '88. Governor Gary Johnson of New Mexico. He was governor of New Mexico when I was governor of Minnesota. He is phenomenal. He is the Libertarian candidate for governor, or for president, excuse me, and all of us need to vote for Gary Johnson. That will send a message. And he can win. All these people that say you can't win, well, Jessie Ventura won.
That's right.
And they told me I couldn't win.
Well,
and so if we would all vote, all the Ron Paul people, vote for Governor Johnson. Even if he gets 20%, it'll send a shockwave.
Well, I recommend that highly at the Republican convention, and so that you could throw that into chaos, and I highly recommend that. Thank you, Governor Ventura. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you again real soon.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Thank you,
Imus
Gov.
won't.
That's right.
Putty tat. All right. Thank you, Governor Ventura. Take that, Imus.
You know what? I agree with a lot of what Gary Johnson stands for.